Right now, I'm inside Doral Park, specifically in a small gated section called Doral Glen. And this is one of those communities that not everyone knows about. But once you do, it's hard to forget. The community is quiet, it's established, and it feels very different from what you typically see in newer parts of Doral. And I want you to really take that in for a second. Because when people think about Doral today, they often think about the newer construction, modern buildings, and a lot of activity, a lot of movement. But here it's different. It's a different pace. You can actually hear the birds, you see mature trees, and the streets feel calm, not busy. What I personally like about this area is that it doesn't feel overbuilt. You don't have constant traffic, you don't have people cutting through your neighborhood, and you don't feel like you're in a high density area. It's the kind of place where you actually feel a sense of privacy, something that's harder and harder to find in Miami. And that's one of the reasons why communities like this continue to hold their value over time. Because once people find this balance between location and lifestyle, they tend to stay. Now, let's talk about what really makes this area stand out. Because, yes, the homes are beautiful, and yes, the neighborhood is peaceful, but what you're really buying into here is the lifestyle. When you live in Doral Glen or in Doral Park, you also have access to the Doral Park Country Club, which is just down the street. And this is a big deal. You're talking about having a golf course, tennis courts, a full gym, and resort style pool, and even dining options, all within your same community. So your weekends look very different. Instead of having to drive somewhere to relax, to exercise, or to spend time with family, everything is already around you. You can wake up, go for a walk, maybe play a round of golf, maybe meet friends at the clubhouse, and it all feels very easy and very natural. And that's something that I always tell my clients. It's not just about the house, it's about how your day to day feels. Now, another big advantage of this location is how close you are to everything. Even though this community can feel tucked away and private, you're literally just minutes away from downtown Doral. And if you've been there, you already know you have the great restaurants, the cafes, the shops, the parks, and just really nice, vibrant energy. And don't forget about the schools. So you actually get the best of both worlds. You get to come home to peace and quiet, but you're never far from anything happening around you. And that's one of the reasons why Doral in general has become one of the most desirable areas in Miami, especially for families, for professionals, and even international buyers. You have great access to amazing schools, both private and charter. You have accessibility to all the major highways like the Palmetto and the Turnpike, and you're still relatively close to the airport. So, from a convenience standpoint, it really does check all the boxes. But what makes Doral Glen in Doral Park specifically stand out is it gives you all the convenience without the chaos. And that is rare. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about who this area is really for, because not every community fits every lifestyle. Doral Park is perfect for someone who values space, who wants a quieter environment, who appreciates an established neighborhood with character. Maybe you are relocating from another state. Maybe you're coming from a more fast paced part of Miami, like maybe Brickell or downtown. Or maybe you've just reached a point where you want to come home and feel a little more like a retreat. This is the kind of place you come home to and you actually disconnect, where your kids can play outside, where you can take walks in the evening, where everything simply feels a little more grounded. And I'll tell you something else from experience. I've been in Doral for over 20 years. I actually live very close by, but I actually lived in the beach before having kids. And when my family started growing, I had to make a decision to move to Doral. And it was one of the best decisions for our lifestyle because here you really get a sense of community. And areas like Doral Glen in Doral Park, they've really maintained that feel over time. They haven't lost their identity. And that's something that's very important, especially when you're thinking about your family and something that's long term. Because real estate is not just about today, it's about where you see yourself in the next 5, 10, or 15 years. And communities like this tend to be very stable. Now, another thing worth noting is the size of this community in Doral Glen. Doral Glen is relatively small compared to other gated communities in Doral. And that actually works in your favor because that means you don't have a lot of turnover. You don't have a lot of transient activity. It feels more intimate and more private. And that's something a lot of buyers are starting to appreciate more and more, especially today. Now, as you walk around here, you'll notice something else. The homes have character. They're not all identical. You definitely have different layouts, different upgrades, some homes with lake views, some with golf views. So there is a sense of individuality. And that's something that's missing sometimes with new developments where everything can feel a little bit repetitive. Here, it feels more personal. Now, from a value perspective, this is also interesting because compared to some of the other newer options for newer construction in Doral, you're getting a lot more space, more established environment, and access to amenities that are already included in and functioning. There's definitely no waiting. There's no uncertainty. What you see is what you get. And that gives buyers a lot of peace of mind. Now, as we transition into the home I'm about to show you, I want you to keep all of this in mind because when you're looking at the property, it's not just about the finishes or the layout, it's about everything around it. It's about the lifestyle, it's about the location, the community, and how all of that comes together. Because at the end of the day, that's what really defines the value of a home. So today, I'm gonna take you inside a property here in Doral Glen and give you a real feel for what living here actually looks like. And as you watch, think about this. Could you see yourself living in a place like this? Let me know what you think in the comments below. A single family home in Doral Glen. I'll give you a tour so you can see it from the inside. This is a 6-bedroom, 4-bath home. Let me show you. You walk in, you have, it's nice to point out, some of these homes have garages. Most of them have garages. This one doesn't. The developer actually sold it to the owners without the garage. What they did add down here, you're gonna see when we get inside, there are 2 additional bedrooms with their own bathrooms. So that's pretty cool. Not everybody needs a garage. Most of us use it just to store things. And in this case, they've used it and taken full advantage of it and created 2 more bedrooms downstairs. So I'll give you a tour. As we walk in, you'll see that these are all high impact windows and doors that they have just recently been installed. These windows are really, really, really big. So there's plenty of light inside the house. And what I really like is that these doors have these glass on them that gives you the privacy that you need, but also lets plenty of light inside. Let's go inside. Okay, so what we'll find here, again, there's so much light in the house because these windows are so massive throughout. And as soon as you walk in, you can feel the air conditioning, nice, crisp, and cool. The AC was just changed out along with the windows and a brand new roof. So this house really has a lot to give to their new owners. Plus the fact that we're in a gated community within Doral, which is it's not very small, but it's small compared to other communities. Gives you a lot more quaint feel. You get to know your neighbors a lot more. We're stepping into, I guess it's a TV area. This is like the formal dining room and living area. But here you have a TV room, which is really convenient. This is where everybody likes to hang out. And another smaller dining room area here. But in the meantime, let me do a little tour of the kitchen because I think you want to check this one out. Okay, as we come in from the living room area, we'll walk into the kitchen. It's been totally updated. These cabinets are beautiful. I like the dark on them. And they go all the way up, almost all the way up to the ceiling. We've got nice snacks for us today by the seller. So wonderful to get greeted like this today. And look at this beautiful view outside of the kitchen. All the green, there's tons of orchids outside and a nice patio area. We'll get out there in just a minute. These are all beautiful appliances, stainless steel throughout. We've got a gas stove, which I really enjoy, especially in Miami when we have situations where We have lights coming out and lights are not working because of hurricanes. It's always nice to have a gas stove. I've been there, done that. I wish all of my appliances were gas. And here's the built-in fridge. Not the built-in, the stainless steel fridge. I'll show you the other two rooms. Okay, so we have back into check out the other two rooms. So there's the house in total has 6 bedrooms. There are 4 upstairs and 2 downstairs. So we'll find out where these two are all about. Remember what I told you that this would be the half bathroom. Remember what I told you that the developer actually did not include a garage, but they included 2 other bedrooms and 2 other bathrooms. So that's what makes this house so special. Here we have the washer and dryer. Everything looks very nice and well maintained. As we come on through, this is where the garage would have been if this would have been the traditional layout of the houses when the developer gave them out. But this is where they included the additional 2 bedrooms. So in total, the house has 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, okay? Coming through here, you've got a little storage where the water heater is and the rest of the stuff gets thrown in. And this is where it gets fun. So this would have been the garage, but it's actually now 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. I'll show you. You come through here. We've got this room with its full bathroom. I can't imagine I'm surprised by how well they fit all of this in here. So it's private for whoever, if you have guests, maybe in-laws who want to have their own little space. You know, here's the second bedroom as well. They all have their closets. They all have beautiful windows facing the front of the house. Oops. Here. And their own bathrooms. Check this one out. So I'm really surprised by how much they did with well, this was probably a 2-car garage, I'm guessing. It wasn't a 1-car garage. That's how they got so much in here. And they've really taken advantage of all of the storage spaces. They've really taken advantage of every inch that they didn't include, but that they could within the garage. What I like here too is that you can kind of, if you have guests or whatever, they have their own little privacy there. You close the door and they have their bathrooms. They don't necessarily need to come out of here if they don't need to. Of course, here is the half bathroom for visitors. Okay, as we're coming up the stairs, we can find the master bedroom right through here. Wow, look at all this light. Remember that all of the windows and doors have been updated, so they're all hurricane proof. The house feels so crisp and fresh because it's so nice and cool in here. So you have this area, which is another sitting room. Here's the bedroom. This is all really big furniture, and the feel of the bedroom is still so big. So this room has its own private balcony. Let's step out here. We're on the golf course. Right as we step out. Oh, all this green space. Palm trees in the background. There's a lot of orchids in this house. The owners must really love them. The feel out here is beautiful. Here we have 102nd Avenue. And we have other gated communities within reach. We're in Doral Park. Right across. So again, you won't have any noisy neighbors right in here. We're gonna step back inside. See, all of these windows and doors have been installed for high impact windows and doors, I meant to say. But they also had the hurricane shutters from before that. So you've got double the protection. Step back into the main bedroom. As we step through here, we're gonna be checking out the master bathroom right through here. which has been totally updated. So much light and so beautifully chosen. I love all of the tiles. Everything's a very light clear colors. You got the shower with the inside bench inside, so you can take a seat if you wish. And of course, with jacuzzi and so forth. There are 2 closets in this master bedroom. One of them is right here. It's very large. I'm not going to go all the way in, but it goes all the way to the back. And there's another one on this side as well. So come back through here. We're heading into the resting area where the stairs meet. We have, like I said, 4 bedrooms up here. We just saw the first one here. We're gonna head into the second one. It's a nice office space with its own closet. And then we're gonna head out. So this bedroom and those 2 there will share this bathroom. I like the fact that this bathroom has the hand washing separate from the shower and the toilet. That gives people the opportunity to use the bathroom when there's more than one person, still maintaining the privacy. Now we're gonna walk into the additional 2 bedrooms. Remember that there's another 2 bedrooms downstairs, okay? So this is one of the beautiful rooms. Our car is parked right out there. That's 102nd Avenue right there. Oops, this is better. Let me show you the closet so you get an idea of the closet space. Very, very big walk-in closet for this bedroom. I'm surprised because usually bedrooms that are not the primary ones don't have such big walk-in closets, but this one does. Okay, we're walking into another bedroom upstairs. Again, very, very large, lots of light. This furniture is a little big, but even so, it feels like there's plenty of room inside this room. Let me show you the window and the view. There you go. By the way, just to remind everybody, the roof of the house was just replaced, and high impact windows, high impact doors were all recently installed as well. We are in Doral Park. I'm not going to open this up. It's going to be a little tight in there. But this would be the 4th bedroom upstairs. Oof, these windows are so nice just because they are, these high impact windows. They shut and they open so tightly. They're nice and heavy. You don't have to worry about putting these things up. No accordion shutters for you if you have this house. So I guess the owner really likes his orchids because they are everywhere. And there's so much peace and tranquility out here. Of course, this is a single family home. So you've got, we're in a gated community, but the neighbor's far enough away that you don't have to, there's privacy out here for sure. And you don't have any neighbors in the front because this is where the golf course was actually a canal. I'll show you. There's a canal, beautiful canal right here. And then on the other side of these trees is where the golf course is located. And this is the house from the back. So pretty. I hope this tour was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.